Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the G-Frame Gym Command Space Type. Now once again, I've been busy around, so I've been going to other work-related stuff on the weekends, or there was basically a huge other event that I could not just skip on, so that usually takes on the weekends as well, so it's been a while. But once again, I'm back, and today we're looking at another G-Frame figure. Now G-Frames are kind of interesting in my opinion, because once again, they're basically buildable figures, not exactly in terms of gunpla level, but once again, they are pretty fun to do all sorts of poses, and also a nice alternative to build up your army if you can find them, of course. Because I mean, sure, you can do that with gunpla, but you gotta build them multiple times, and that can be very tiresome. While these ones are less tiresome than actual gunpla. All right, so once again, being a very fan of the gym series, I got the Gym Command type. I wasn't actually aware there was a space Gym Command type in this one, but once again there was, so the moment I found it, I got it right away. So as usual, the red one, the one that when you think about the Gym Command type, I think if you've been a long time Gundam fan, or you've been into playing games and such, I think you would think about the space type, the red version out there. But once again, if you started really recently I think in terms of master grade, the first one you would see would be the ground type, which would be the brownish version of this one as well. Alright, so once again, being G-frames, I really need to explain this once more again. Now, G-frames are buildable figures. They come in these small boxes, but however, there are two types of boxes. Now, for some reason, I lost my other one, so I'm going to show you guys another one that I'm preparing to review in the next few weeks. Here is, oops, something just passed by me. So this is how a G-frame box would be like. There will be an A box, and then there will be an F box. So there's two boxes. If you want to have the full experience of this lineup, you must buy two of these. Why? Because if you buy this one that has the actual mobile suit image on it, with the one with the A on the box, is that you only get a statue frame. Then you get the statue frame and the outer armor to make it look like the mobile suit, but that's it. No articulation, no equipment. So here is the statue frame that would be from the A box. You can see it looks detailed, but once again, there's no articulation here. The only articulation that I could kind of say would be that you could maybe do this, and that's it. There's no foldable. You can't move the arms, you can't bend the legs. You'll have an A statue figure, and without any equipment. So this will also come with the only open style hands, and this will look extremely awkward depending on the mobile suit as well. Now, if you get the F frame, the box with the F that has the inner frame image here, and what you get is the fully articulated frame. So all the articulation will be here. You can fold the arms and legs and do all sorts of posing, and with the necessary or the essential equipment of the mobile suit as well. So, which is why if you look at the G-frames, there's going to be always two boxes as well. And if you look at the side, you can see what other else mobile suits are in the same series. So this is G-frame 14. So there's actually a few more that I'm going to be reviewing soon as well. So anyway, yeah, I have both of the boxes. I always buy the two boxes. I never just buy one. So once again, if you're going to try G-frames, please do buy both boxes. I don't want to see people buying only one box and saying it's a scam. Okay. All right. So once again, once you have everything, you should be able to detach every armor part from the statue frame onto the moving frame, and after that. Now, technically speaking, you can make this into some kind of action base. They do give you parts, another extra part for that, but it's a really stretch, and in my opinion, it's really utter garbage. So you can just throw this away into the garbage can right away as well. All right, so let's see what we got. So, well, once again, oops, sorry about that. If you've noticed, my rotating base is back because I finally got it back from my office. Alright, so here is that thing that I was talking about, which you can make that statue frame into a action base. But once again, do me a favor, just throw this away and get yourself a proper action base separately as well. Alright, so there are a few interesting facts that we need to talk about this. So let's talk about components. So first of all, what you get, of course, if you bought two boxes and finally assembled it into the articulated frame here, you should have the mobile suit, you should have the hands with the multi-purpose hands that you should be able to use all the equipments that came with it. And here are the actual equipments that came with it. So number one, so this is kind of interesting. You get two shields. So one is the more typical Gym Command space type shield that we all think about of. And man, I am just dropping stuff here and there. So here is the shield. It has all the engraved details on it, but in terms of you might need to, if you want to make it look more detailed, you're gonna have to do some panel lining. You do get this the shield and the shield connector here. So this one will clip onto the arm, and then from there you can either attach the shield to the back or onto the side like that. So your choice. Now this shield, well, I mean, depending on if you play various games or watched any other manga stuff or other references, you might have seen the Gym Command Space type carry this around, or the Gym Command Ground type to carry this type of shield around. But once again, it really depends on the situation. There's no problem with that, but it's really interesting that they instead of just being in white, they have this brown tone going on here, which also brings out to the backpack. Now, because this is the space type, which I also have reviewed the master grade, which is Premium Bandai for the space type, because I use this backpack, but they also give you this backpack as an option. So if you want to make it look have the ground type backpack, you can do that as well, because I believe I think it was the Blue Destiny manga where they were using Gym Command types, but they were using on the ground and they were red. So maybe if you want to replicate that, you can do that as well. But of course, it really depends on like the manga or game, because they each have a different like iteration of something going on here. But once again, it's really nice to have options out there as well. And because of this aspect, now the Gym Command type has been known to use various weapons. So you do have options to have a machine gun. I'm not sure if they called this the bullpup for this one. That's why I keep forgetting the names. But one thing, you get the machine gun or the more iconic beam rifle that was used specifically by the Gym Command types. So yeah, I tend to use this more because I do like the design as well. So yeah, you do get some options. Now, despite being there, beam saber engraved to the back skirt, you don't get any separate beam saber effect parts or beam sabers in general. The G-frame, while they are pretty good, I'm gonna say that the way how they handle the beam sabers has always been awkward. So I think it's just better to not to have them as well. I think if you don't know what I mean, you can go check my Jim Cole review of the G-frame as well. It's a really nice figure, but once again, the beam saber is just awkward. All right, so before we go on into any articulation, let's do a quick comparison with a 1:1 44 scale HD kit as well. So here we have another 1:1 44 gunpla kit. So you can definitely tell in terms of height, it's going to be much smaller than the kit. I say like maybe 2 heads shorter than the gunpla kit. But once again, it's a sturdy thing. So if you don't really like the size of this, and if you want something more smaller but not SD, I think this is a nice alternative if you ask me. Alright, so now let's go over the articulation really quickly, and then let's see what else it can do. So let's start with the head. Now, unlike most figures or gunpla, the visors would usually be a clear piece, a separate piece. But once again, being G-frames, these are a little bit cheaper, so they decided to color it. Now, as far as I've seen so far, like all the like visors on like on the mobile suits, they have always came out clean compared to the Gundam faces. So yeah. Once again, they did an excellent job on painting this. No big deal, no troublesome as well. So the head can, I think the head has always been a little bit stiff for me, but 360 twist is possible. Going down, not so much, but up, you can go a little bit more thanks to the neck joint being able to move to the back a little bit more as well. Now for the arms, because everything, like the inner frame here is very well articulated, you can pretty much pull off a lot of poses here. So the arm, let me just actually let's take off the shoulder here. Now the way how the shoulder works, this could be like each person could have a different opinion, but the shoulder armor itself is a clip-on to the joint, not the arm itself. So handling or dealing that might be tricky. But once again, even with or without the shoulder armor on, so going 360 should be possible because you do get a ball joint connection here, and then 360 rotation is possible as well. The only downside is that the armor, especially the top armor area, because the way how the connection works, if you look at the back, it's going to be like that. So it's going to have like an empty space here, but you know, it is what it is. And then bend wise, you get a very nice decent bend going on here as well. And then hands are ball jointed hands. And yeah, you should have no problems as well. Now these hands are slightly smaller than the HG ones, so you could technically force one to connect here, but it's gonna look a little bit awkward if you ask me. Alright, so let me just clip that back on. And then now let's get the body here. Now the body, there is a bit of an ab crunch, but not exactly the ab movement, it's just the top entire body is just connected to the ball joint, so that's why it's moving. Now going 360 is possible, but once again, I have had some issues with certain G-frames where the waist connection can get very loose, so I'm hoping that this one doesn't happen. So yeah. And the front skirts, unlike gunpla, they are separate pieces. So on each side, so you can move them upwards. Now the side skirts can move a little bit. They are technically on like these clip joints, so you can go upwards, and back skirts are just a single piece with 2 pegs connected, so no movement there. But you can see the leg joint, so you do have a nice side swivel going on here, going to the side 90 degrees as possible, going forward 90 degrees as possible, backwards not so much because of the back skirt. And bend wise of the legs, you have a very nice bend, and you have a nice, because the feet are in these ball joints in a specific angle, so which is why you do get a nice decent amount of movement onto the feet as well. All right, we've seen the basics of the the articulation here, so I'll be right back with some poses and we'll end it off there. Okay, I'm back. So here we have a proper action base, in which you can connect it to the bottom section there. And once again, we have a nice pose going on here. I tried to do a very specific pose I saw in some kind of animation in a separate games here, where he was like dive bombing like this while firing at an enemy. So yeah, really love this pose going on here, and the fact that, you know, because of the way how the shield connects, you don't really need to like move the arm too much. There's a lot of opportunity and a little bit of movement, so there's a lot of like adjustments that you can make, small adjustments to make it look look more realistic or more natural going on here as well. Really love the fact that you do get the shield and the matching colors on the shield and the beam rifle. It's just perfect for the Gym Command space type. Alright, so I think there's only one thing left to show, then let's try slapping on the ground type stuff as well and see how it feels. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the ground type equipment on here as well. So I'm doing the classic using the shield to cover up the cockpit and firing with some machine gun pose going on here. So once again, I say equipment, but there's not much of a stretch because you can technically use this in space as well. The shield, technically, I would think there would be no difference between a shield that's used in space and on the ground. The only difference here would be the backpack, where there's only 2 thrusters going on here as well. So once again, I mean, the shield looks okay, but once again, it looks kind of awkward because of the different color thing. You can definitely tell that this shield is not really meant for this guy. So I'm kind of hoping maybe they're working on a Gym Type C, maybe the ground variant, or maybe the space variant, whichever that comes first. But once again, kind of hoping that would happen in the future as well. I would love to have that in my collection going on here as well. Now the machine gun works pretty well. Is all you need to do is just slap this onto the hand and you're good to go. Now the G-frame weapons, the top section may look pretty detailed, but the handles will look very simple because they're pretty much slide on, so they don't have the triggers or anything too much detail going on here. You can see there's just T-shaped pegs going on there as well. So if you're into like detail there, if you want to like modify the guns or maybe like shave off some stuff, then that's really up to you. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the G-frame Gym Command space type. I'm kind of hoping maybe this is just telling us that because they're giving us these equipment, they're just saying they have no plans to make a ground variant, so color it yourself, or who knows, maybe it's a hint that they're going to release one in the future. But anyway, any Gym Types mobile suit in the G-frame format, I'm going to welcome it and try to review them as well. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the G-frame Gym Command space type. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.